sexy is the...
Welcome to Raw is Jericho!
The following announcement has been paid for by the New World Order.
Listen up, you blind slapnut.
If I can be serious for a minute.
This is the Flex Network. This is the Flex Network. Flex on them. Flex on everybody.
The real reason I came here tonight is because we are live!
We are NXT.
It's your time, folks! Sweet! A little bit of the bubbly.
The preceding announcement has been paid for by the New World Order.
For life.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all the ages, it is Thursday here on the Flex Network. That means it is time for wrestling. Man, is it already Thursday, guys? I mean, be honest with me. Is it really Thursday? It just feels like the week's been going on, and it just doesn't feel like Thursday to me. But nonetheless, it's Thursday. That means it is time to talk wrestling here on these airwaves, here on the Flex Network. We are live and in living color on Facebook, on YouTube, and on Twitter. Man, we are so close to Elimination Chamber. 1 week from Sunday. This Sunday, we have an NXT TakeOver. It is Vengeance Day. Did I say that right? Vengeance Day on Valentine's Day. You know what? I have sheer belief that this should have been an NXT TakeOver St. Valentine's Day Massacre. It just feels so right and just... Ooh.
Sweet!
To say the least, to have TakeOver Vengeance Day instead of a St. Valentine's Day Massacre. That's just the 90s in me, guys. That this should have been a St. Valentine's Day Massacre instead of a Vengeance Day. But nonetheless, I don't make the decisions over there to make the decisions of, hey, what are we going to call the pay-per-view, guys? What are we going to call the upcoming pay-per-view? But nonetheless, we are live. So let's get into the show, guys. Some quick little news that's thrown out there that we know of. As of today, Mia Yim and Keith Lee, the Limitless One, is now going to be engaged together because they are engaged, guys. They are going to be married. Congratulations on the engagement of those two. And other, great news over the week, guys, that Eric and Sarah Logan of the Viking, Eric of the Viking Raiders and Sarah Logan of the Riot Squad, they have welcomed their first child together. And I'm trying to remember what's their name for the baby. First child was, as soon as my phone decides, hey, let's just bring up Raymond Cash Rowe. Congratulations to you guys on the birth of your new baby. Man, a lot of great news coming out for wrestlers these days. Daniel Bryan, Nikki Bella, Brie Bella, having babies. The Man, Becky Lynch, having a kid of her own with Seth. Eric Rowan, man, just who else am I? Brandy Rhodes is expecting. Renee Young on the way. Just a lot of people in wrestling right now getting the pregnancy, gene, the pregnancy hormone right now, wanting to have babies. So, congrats on those guys for their great addition to their family. And then a little scarier little information coming out. Braun Strowman recently announced that he has been dealing with with a medical issue. As over the weekend he got sick, really sick, and it got into he had developed an infection that got into his bloodstream. Don't know exactly what it was. And now he's on antibiotics. The good news is that the antibiotics are working, the antibiotics are working, and he's feeling a lot better. He had dropped about 15 pounds, and his joints were being swollen. So it was not a great weekend for the monster of my man. Hope you are safe and well, doing well on your speedy recovery, man. Here at the Flex Network, we just want to wish you a speedy recovery and get well soon, big man. We want to see Braun back, but not at the expense of your health. So be safe, man. And other little related issue, if you have ever heard the name of Guerrero, you would know the name of Eddie Guerrero and his daughter, 30-year-old daughter, Shao Guerrero. I was trying to make sure I said it right. She has been on AEW as a ring announcer. She was in WWE a long time ago. But she was just recently in AEW as a ring announcer for the women's tag team tournament. Now she's going to be taking a break from the wrestling world, as she's been dealing with mental issues. So she's going to go get herself, checked out and deal with her mental, focus on mental health. So we wish her a speedy recovery and hope that she is doing well. And other than that, that's really essence like the news for this week. I mean, again, February has not been really kind for news, as far as I can say. Just a lot of action in the ring, and not a whole lot of backstage stuff that's been going on. Not a lot of whole stuff that I thought was interesting for you guys to come out and check out. So let's actually just get into some wrestling, guys. Spoiler, if you haven't been watching, you hear it. It's time for spoiler alert, so it's time for the woo, which means you might want to, if you're trying to wait till later in the week to catch some stuff, well, speak no evil, see no evil, hear no evil, because we're going to spoil some stuff for you guys. Raw, let's get into Raw quickly. It was a good Raw this past week. I would say. Of course, we're on the road to Elimination Chamber 1 week from Sunday, and we already have some matches, coming up for that event. We'll talk about it in a short little bit. AJ Styles taking on Jeff Hardy. Even before that, we had the announcement for the Elimination Chamber match for the Raw side of the brand. And we had Shane O'Mac make a return. We haven't seen him since Raw Underground was last on. So it's been a while. If you guys remember the summer, it was very interesting to say the least, with MMA shoot fight and underground stuff in the back of the building as a segment for on Raw on USA Network, but it was I thought it was entertaining at some points, with seeing a lot of the wrestlers, getting involved in no ropes, fights in the back of the building, with no ring ropes, just open air. It's like, it was kind of fun, kind of, but there was a lot of people that didn't like that segment every week, especially with Dabakato. I mean, he was a big old monster, but I feel like watching what Dabakato was going to try a step to Braun Strowman was kind of interesting, to say the least, but it didn't work out. But yeah, AJ Styles taking on Jeff Hardy. Jeff loses via submission. The New Day, Kofi Kingston, Xavier Woods taking on Retribution in tag team action. That one was an okay matchup right there. New Day picks up the victory. Charlotte taking on Lacey Evans. If Lacey won and beat Charlotte Flair, she would be the number one contender for the Raw Women's title at the Elimination Chamber. And not a bad way to get a victory, try to really jab it into someone and stick it to them, messing, with the whole family wise, getting with Ric Flair and, on a professional basis, and just make it seem like this is like a family matter and everything. After a while, I swear this whole storyline right now has just been kind of weird, kind of like, okay, what's the plan here? Is this going to be like younger, trying to get in with older guy, that kind of, gold digger kind of thing? Is like, no, as it's been explained, like, this is a professional, just Rick didn't want to be at home. Lacey wanted to use Ric Flair and, get that knowledge and that experience with Flair so she can make a run for the Raw Women's title, get some title, championships, and, elevate her status. And of course, it's smart. Use the dirtiest player in the game, the 16-time former WCW World Heavyweight Champion of the world. And to say the best part of this whole thing is that Lacey not really liking Charlotte and just driving. It's gotta be like driving a stake in her eyes. Like, I don't want you to see with this whole thing, and I'm just irritating you guys with, my presence and just trying to be around the nature boy and everything, especially to go after Charlotte like this and have Rick essentially help cost Charlotte her half of the women's tag team titles. This past Sunday at the Rumble, or sorry, not this past Sunday, at the previous pay-per-view at the Royal Rumble. So now on Raw, everything's coming out in the matchup. Charlotte just get herself disqualified and, didn't care. She just wanted to beat the heck out of Lacey. And kudos for her just to go to town on her, but unfortunately, it did cost Charlotte, and it probably may have just set up Lacey for a Raw Women's title run here against Asuka at the Chamber, because Charlotte, lost via disqualification, which means Lacey is now your number one contender for the Raw Women's title to take on Asuka. Damian Priest taking on Angel Garza. Damian Priest is now officially a member of the Raw brand, ladies and germs. And the whole thing with him teaming with Bad Bunny from the Rumble, essentially going up against the Miz, Morrison, and I guess now Angel Garza, as he's joined the Miz Taraj right there, 2.0. I find it not as interesting because again, Bad Bunny, I've never heard of him before the Royal Rumble. I listened to his track Booker T, and I did not find it that all that uh interesting to listen to. It was again, I mean, yeah, it's got a good beat to it, but other than that, it's just like, okay, uh, not my cup of tea, guys. And maybe some of your guys' cup of tea if you go back out and listen to Bad Bunny's Booker T song. But again, not interested. And there's a quote out there on, I think it was Facebook out there on a couple weeks ago or a week ago or so, that if you have not, if you're replying to who is Bad Bunny on social media and everything, then you're someone who has been living under a rock and has no idea who the heck Bad Bunny is, and it's just like, yeah, I've never even heard of this guy before, so I'm like trying to find it while I'm talking with you guys at the moment. And it's like, oh yeah, if you're one of the people responding to posts about him, Bad Bunny on Twitter with who, all you're doing is outing yourself as someone who isn't in touch with pop culture. So again, I say, who is Bad Bunny? I'm not in touch with pop culture, guys. I'm set in my ways. I'm 30 years old. I'm set in my ways right now. If it's something I like, I will gladly bring it into my liking and want to continue and enjoy, listening to certain music, that artist, that brand, whatever. But if it's something that, it's just because it's in pop culture doesn't mean that I'm going to instantly like it. And if I don't like it, it's like, I don't care for it. Just move along. So, and I guess the rumors are that they're going to have Bad Bunny through WrestleMania with Damian Priest. It's like, okay, it may work out in Damian Priest's favor. It may work out even more so with Bad Bunny, getting some merch out there on WWE. I mean, because right now, or at least this past week, they were releasing from the Rumble onward a little bit, some Bad Bunny Royal Rumble merch on WWEshop.com. So if you feel like you want to get some collaboration with Bad Bunny and WWE, some shirts or a sweatshirt, go out and on WWEshop.com and get your merch. I think it's a limited time, so might want to go get it. Match itself, especially with Miz coming out and talking to Edge, letting him know, hey, maybe at WrestleMania you might want to grow eyes in the back of your head because I got the Money in the Bank contract, and I might just cash it in on you at WrestleMania if you win. It's like, Miz, what are you doing? How dumb are you to want to say you're going to cash in at WrestleMania against the Ultimate Opportunist? It's like, dude, that is not the smartest thing in the world. I mean, The Miz has been doing the Money in the Bank contract dirty for years. Anytime he's holding on to it, he just wants to brag out there that he's Mr. Money in the Bank and that he's going to cash in. He's telling all of his opponents, I'm going to cash in on you. It's like, okay, thank you for the heads up. Now I can plan for your eventual cash in, man. But to tell the winner of the Royal Rumble, who's got a guaranteed main event spot at WrestleMania in Tampa Bay, that you're going to cash in on him immediately following his match, just makes it so you are being stupid there, Miz. You never want to tell your opponent when you're coming. I understand, getting the paranoia out there, saying, you might want to keep an eye out for me, man, because I'm looking to add a title to my collection. And you don't say when you're going to cash in, oh, I'm going to cash in after your match at WrestleMania. It's like, no, now you just given me time to plan for the aftermatch. Like as soon as you tell me your plan, it's like, okay, thank you. I can now formulate my own plan to counteract you, so that if you try to cash in, I can get someone to screw you out of that title shot. Because remember, you gotta beat me. I don't have to beat you. I got champion's advantage. So whoever the Miz is gonna cash in at WrestleMania, if he's gonna last that long, because again, he's got the Chamber to deal with 1 week from Sunday, as he has an opportunity for the WWE Championship. And if he doesn't cash in at Chamber, he still has somewhat next month at Fastlane. He still has WrestleMania, and if for some reason he doesn't cash in at WrestleMania, he only has maybe a mere couple months left with that contract. If that, because again, that contract that he's holding, he needs to kind of remember this, that as soon as Money in the Bank comes along, which will probably be a couple weeks, or actually a couple months after, maybe a couple weeks, maybe a month or so, depending on when they're going to have Money in the Bank, that contract is null and void. Which means, May 2nd is when they're going to have the Money in the Bank the Money in the Bank pay-per-view. So May 2nd is the deadline for The Miz, guys. May 2nd is the last day that he has an opportunity to cash in or to trade that contract in for a title match. So the Miz countdown is officially on. May 2nd is the final day. Because again, remember, Otis won last year at Money in the Bank. He got the Money in the Bank contract, which means that contract is binding for 1 year, from that Money in the Bank to the next Money in the Bank, 1 full year to be used. Miz may have gotten a Hell in a Cell back in October, but that doesn't mean that he gets to reset the full year in the terms. That just means that he now has a shorter time clock to work with between Hell in a Cell and May 2nd, which is going to be the next Money in the Bank pay-per-view. So if he wants to get in a title shot between now and May 2nd, which by any means let's see. May 2nd, days today. We are under what? 80 days. He's got 80 days left with that contract, at least. The most he's got is 80 days from now. So I don't know what the Miz is plan. What they're going to plan for the Miz between the next 80 days. If he's going to cash in at a Chamber, if he's going to cash in at a Raw, if he's going to cash in at a on a SmackDown, just wide open for the next 80 days. And I hope that someone doesn't, I hope the Miz doesn't figure out, or someone, just thinks that, oh yeah, I'm not, I may cash in at the, I hope it gets to the point where the Miz acts all cocky. It gets to WrestleMania and, it's thwarted and he still has the Money in the Bank contract. But then somehow as we get closer to Money in the Bank, he realized he gets, it's like, you know what? I might just hold on to this because again, I got until October. I mean, it's not been a year for me, and then someone just instantly tells him, "It's like, dude, you're a former Money in the Bank contract winner. You should know this that contract is legal for 1 year. This contract that means from Money in the Bank to Money in the Bank, the next year is legal." Once the Money in the Bank the next contract is up or is hung and they have that match, that contract is legal. Which means the contract you're holding is no longer valid. You can't cash in, you can't use it, you can't wait until next October on this current contract that you hold that you may have won at Hell in a Cell. Thanks to Tucker screwing over his buddy. But now you're about to lose your opportunity to cash in and get a WWE or Universal title match. So I feel like in the next 8 days, we're going to see if The Miz is going to be the ultimate idiot and realize that he has had the shortest amount of time with the Money in the Bank contract, for being someone who's held on to it and not cashed in the amount of time of the legal contract, or as if he's going to win, cash in, lose, or cash in and win. So these next 8 days for The Miz are going to be telling to see if he's going to be another champion or if he's just going to be someone who's holding on to a contract that has no value. That won't be enforced. But now that I've went on this ramble with Miz, Damian Priest defeating Angel Garza, which Angel Garza joining The Miz and John Morrison. I'm kind of interested to see where this is going to go after his tenure with tagging with Andrade and not really getting a tag team title run, but I'm kind of interested to see where this is going to go. Keith Lee makes his return to Raw, beats Matt Riddle. He's going to get a U.S. title opportunity at the Chamber. Lana, in the most hilarious moment of the week in quite a while, beats Nia Jax in a tables match. And if you saw Raw, if you didn't see Raw, Lana goes for, Nia Jax decides to go for a leg drop on the outside of the ring, trying to, I would say, decapitate, guillotine Lana. Well, Lana moves. Nia just slams on the edge of the ring of the ring apron and hits, I guess, it hit the sweet spot right between the middle of the crack of the booty crack, and flips over a table and is like has the longest stall. I mean, to say the least. She hits, it's like and then flips over a table, gets to the ring apron, it's like, oh my hole. My hole. Good God. There's been memes, jokes just running up since Monday about this one moment. And it's just damn funny, guys. Go and check that out. I'm sure you guys can go and find stuff with Nia Jax and her hole. And for anyone out there who's thinking dirty, it's like, no. Delete. Get your heads out the gutters, boys and girls. But yeah, Lana defeats Nia Jax in a tables match after she's just literally just running, shoves her through a table on the outside, puts her through a table. Immediately following, we had Naomi taking on Shayna Baszler in one-on-one action. Naomi beat Shayna Baszler, and then Randy Orton for the umpteenth time in the since summer, since the summer. Faces Drew McIntyre 1-on-1, non-title. Randy Orton beats Drew McIntyre via disqualification. That was Raw. And I'm actually going to skip ahead to the chamber of the matches we know. We know that there's going to be an Elimination Chamber match for the WWE Championship. This is all the Raw matches that have been announced so far. Drew McIntyre will defend against AJ Styles, Jeff Hardy, Randy Orton, Sheamus, and The Miz inside the Elimination Chamber. The Raw Women's title is on the line, as it will be Asuka defending against Lacey Evans. And then in a triple threat match for the U.S. title, it will be Bobby Lashley defending against Keith Lee, the Limitless One, and Riddle in a triple threat match. That is going to be a great chamber. So far, we know. I'm sure SmackDown is going to have some matches coming up tomorrow night to announce. Let's head over to NXT, because we are getting down to the nitty gritty of the finals of the or the semifinals and the final matches heading into TakeOver Vengeance Day, especially for the Dusty Cup for the men and women. In a semifinal match on the men's side, we had MSK defeat Legado del Fantasma, and this was it was a good match. I will bear to say that was a good match. A good semifinal match between MSK and Legado del Fantasma. MSK moves to the finals, which is going to take place at TakeOver Vengeance Day. Another men's semifinal matchup in the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic. Grizzled Young Vets defeating Ciampa and Thatcher, the replacement team of Ashante Theodonis and Desmond Troy. And for being a tag team for merely 3 weeks, they were good. I will give, they held their own. Unfortunately, for Ciampa and Thatcher as a tag team in the tournament, it's over. It was a great matchup between these four men, as the Grizzled Young Vets will take on MSK at TakeOver Vengeance Day, which will run down the card at the end of the show. Zia Lee defeating Cora Jade in one-on-one women's action. Kushida beats Austin Theory. I've actually been liking what The Way has been doing with Kushida right now with Austin Theory and Johnny Gargano. That whole intermix right now, it's been a lot entertaining, guys. Kushida is gonna gets the victory over Austin Theory via disqualification. And just a lot of craziness out of this past last night, with Austin playing the "I'm injured" and Regal's calling his BS. It's like, dude, those X-rays are for someone on the left arm. You're injured on the right. You're saying you're injured on the right arm. And of course, you don't know what bone you broke. So it's like, dude, you're lying. We know you're lying. And just, it's been very entertaining. Let's just say with that. Go back and watch NXT this past week. It's been very entertaining. And then the final matchup in the semifinals for the women's side of the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic, as we had Shotzi and Ember Moon taking on The Way's Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwell. And that was a damn good match. This was one of my favorite matches of the women's side of the tournament. Ember Moon and Shotzi Blackheart picking up the victory, moving on to the finals at TakeOver this Sunday. That is going to be entertaining and fun as hell to watch. And we now know what the prize is for the women's tag team winners. We'll get into that in just a bit with the rundown of the card for this Sunday. Let's quickly head over to AEW's Dynamite. We do have some news for the Women's World Championship Eliminator Tournament. The Japan side of the bracket has been the Japan's bracket side, or I'm stumbling over my words here. The Japanese side of the bracket has been taped at the Ice Ribbon Dojo in Japan. So that's already been recorded and ready. It's in the can. It's already ready to go. And it's been, being produced, by the current AEW Women's Champion, Aruka Shida. So she's already over there in Japan. And it's already, been taken care of and everything. So it's already been announced. The participants have been announced. And unfortunately, I'm gonna be playing my role as name butcher. I have to create my own banner for that. Yep, it's time for the name butcher because I'm going to be butchering names, guys. Yuki Sakazui taking on Melish Suragu. I butcher names, guys. In a first round matchup, Vinny taking on Emi Sakuru. In another first round match, Maki Ito taking on Ru Mizunumi in another first round matchup, and then AG Kong taking on Rin Kadukuru. I think I said it correctly on that one, but again, the name butcher's here. I butcher names, guys. This is my shtick here for wrestling, unfortunately. So that was the Japan side of the bracket. Of course, winner of that side is going to meet the winner of the American side, which is going to be Leah Hiroshi taking on Thunder Rosa, and we'll talk about that in a short bit. The NWA Women's Champion Serena Deb taking on Rio, Ty Conte taking on Nyla Rose, Britt Baker taking on Anna Jay, and those are the first round matchups on the U.S. side of the bracket. We did have a first round matchup for this 16-woman tournament this past week. Thunder Rosa taking on Leah Harushi or Harush. I don't know why I added the U at that. Leah Harush. And it was a good match. I will give it that. It was a good match for this women's tournament. Thunder Rosa moves on and will meet the winner of Serena Deb taking on Rio in the semifinal matchup in the tournament. Hopefully that'll be coming up in the next couple of weeks. Darby Allin defended the TNT title on Wednesday against Joey Janela. He picks up the victory. Darby Allin retains. It was a great matchup there. Cody and Lee Johnson defeated Cesar Bononi. Again, it pops up. Name butcher. And Peter Avion. They pick up the victory. Cody and Lee Johnson. Lee Johnson joins the Nightmare family. Stable, faction, whatever you want to call it for these guys, for the Nightmare family. Pac taking on Ryan Nemeth, one-on-one action. Pac looking awesome as always, winning via submission. Jericho and MJF on the road to taking on the tag team champs of the Young Bucks. Soon they're gonna go heads up, guys. Hopefully at Revolution. But Jericho and MJF defeated the Acclaimed, and shockingly, we had a surprise here because after the match, Sammy Garva comes out and says he's done with Inner Circle, thanks to MJF. More bullshit in the back, saying that Sammy G wants to take over, be the leader of the Inner Circle, and it's just a lot of tit for tats on that side. But I guess Sammy was done with MJF and done with the Inner Circle with all this. So he is done as a member of the Inner Circle, and I guess he's going to take a little break from AEW, from the place for a little bit. Get his head straight and maybe breathe a little bit. And then main event of the evening, the tag team of Kenta and Kenny Omega taking on Jon Moxley and Lance Archer in a Falls Count Anywhere tag team match. And this was a awesome match, guys. They were fighting literally everywhere that they could go. The kitchen, Mox throwing potatoes at Kenny Omega, Lance Archer and Kenta going at it. A lot of just craziness in this Falls Count Anywhere match. Kenta and Kenny Omega pick up the victory, unfortunately for Jon Mox and Lance Archer. Mox is supposed to be defending the IWGP US Heavyweight title against Kenta coming up at the end of the month, on February 26th against Kenta at New Beginning USA. So this is just making us want this match to happen now, guys. Mox versus Kenta, IWGP US Heavyweight titles on the line. We want this match soon, but it's coming, guys. It is on the way. But we do know next week the AEW World Tag Team titles are on the line, as the Young Bucks will defend against Santana and Ortiz. It's actually nice to see Santana and Ortiz getting a tag team title shot now and actually being used after the last several weeks. Actually, for the last several while, because it feels like they haven't been really used right now in AEW as well as they could have. Gotta get the water in there so I can talk to you guys. But yeah, that was AEW Dynamite. Let's quickly run down what's going to be happening this coming Sunday at TakeOver Vengeance Day. You got the triple threat match for the NXT Women's title is up for grabs. Io Shirai defending against Toni Storm and Mercedes Martinez in a triple threat match. That is going to be a blast to watch. We have the finals of the Women's Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic. Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez taking on Ember Moon and Shotzi Blackheart. The winners will receive a future Women's Tag Team title opportunity. And then on the men's side of the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic, you got MSK with Wesley and Nash Carter taking on the Grizzled Young Vets of James Drake and Zach Gibson. The winners will receive a future NXT Tag Team title opportunity down the line. North American title is up for grabs. We got Johnny Gargano taking on Kushida. And then in the main event, the NXT title is on the line, as it will be the Prince, Finn Balor, taking on Pete Dunne, the Bruiserweight. That is going to be a damn good Vengeance Day this Sunday on Valentine's Day for TakeOver. on the NXT brand. That is going to be blast. I cannot wait for this Sunday. And I think that is going to be it for me, guys. I got nothing left in the tank for you guys this week. So let's get the lovely house clean done for this week. Be sure to like and subscribe and follow all of our platforms, guys, like the Facebook network or like the Flex network on Facebook. And be sure to like and subscribe to everything we do over here at the Flex network. You can follow us at Facebook. We can follow us on Twitter for your fantasy football and football needs. You can follow us at the Flex Network 1 for your MMA, UFC, boxing, your mixed martial arts right there. You can check us out at MMA Evergreen. And then on the flip side of the world for your wrestling content, you could follow us at FlexNet_PW Elite for all of our wrestling content right there. Make sure you guys like and subscribe our YouTube channels. We have Flex, not the Flex Network, but Flex Network and Flex Network Wrestling on YouTube. Be sure to like and subscribe to that. Make sure you guys share this with all of your friends. We would like and love to get more people to come on over to enjoy this content with us and talk wrestling, talk UFC, MMA, football, fantasy football. We're bringing in a lot of stuff now, guys. So share us with everyone that you know, everyone you like, and give us, just a lot of stuff of what was, a lot of jumble that's going up in my head right now. And then, of course, on podcasts, we are everywhere. We're on Spotify. We're on Apple. If we are not somewhere where you listen to podcasts that you take on the road with you, on your way to work, on the bus ride, let us know. We'll get onto that area and we will flex on them and bring you this content. But that is going to be it for me, guys. I am out of here for this week. I would normally be saying I'll be back here next Wednesday, but the NFL season's over, so we're going to enjoy a nice break from the football side of the world. We'll pop in every once in a while on this break. We'll talk some football every once in a while as we take this nice football break, but we will be back as we get closer to the draft, and we'll get ready for preseason. Hope there is a preseason. And then, of course, we'll hit strong when we get back to the NFL season once that gets back underway. But NFL is going to be on a vacation for a little bit. But I will be back next Thursday. Same time, same channel here on Facebook, on the YouTube, and on the Twitter for you guys. But yeah, I will be back next week, 6:30 Pacific time PM at night on Thursdays, talking more wrestling with you guys. Next week we'll talk about what went down at TakeOver Vengeance Day and get on the road to the next stop on the road to WrestleMania, which will be the Elimination Chamber coming up in a week from Sunday. So we're going to have a lot of stuff to talk about, guys, on this bumpy road to WrestleMania. And, of course, what else is going on in the wrestling world. But that is going to be it for me, guys. I am the SnowMan, and I will see you guys next week. Peace out.
This has been the Pro Wrestling Weekend Review Show.
We got some fellow Canadians.
But when you're from Calgary,
Where's that?
Alberta, Canada,
A one-way first-class ticket to Larryland.
what is it with you folks coming to Florida? Stay in your own country. This is the Flex Network. This is the Flex Network. Flex on them. Flex on everybody. Right here.
Why me? Why me?
Why me? Don't blame Canada. Blame yourself.
Feels like showtime every minute to me. I can't help it.
No. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Ta-ta for now.
We're out of time. Good night on Nitro.
The preceding announcement has been paid for by the New World Order.
Well, you're welcome, Jurassic Slapback.